Hello students, today we are going to understand about interviews. Why should we conduct interviews? What are the various stages of an interview? And how can we plan an interview? Actually, a place can be explored through its people and local culture. An interview helps us understand a person, a group of people, or the place in a deeper way. So today in this video, we are going to understand how to conduct interview of people and know them deeply. Interviews with locals are an essential part of any travelogue. They not only help us in understanding what people are like, what values do they uphold, what traditions do they follow, but they also help us in taking a deeper insight into the place itself. Any interview can be divided into 3 stages. The first one is before the interview. The second one is while the interview, and the third one is after the interview. Come, let's dive into all these 3 stages and understand how to conduct an interview effectively for your travel. The first stage of an interview is before the interview. We have to prepare well before we launch into the interview. And here the first step would be identifying the objectives of the interview. Why do we have to conduct the interview? हमें ये interview क्यों करना है? If we identify the objectives, we will not get derailed and hit the target straight. For example, if you want to interview a person from music industry, you can ask about how the person launched into the music industry, or what could be the person's favorite music album, or what are the other contemporary singers whom he or she admires. Once your objectives of the interview is set, let's launch into preparing questions for the interview. Now there is no set rule about the number of questions or the style of questions to be included in the interview. But yes, definitely a few tips will help. The first tip would be start your interview with introducing your guest. Introducing doesn't mean just the name. Ask a question which tells us more about your guest. Like you want to introduce somebody from animal welfare. So you could ask, which animal do you resonate with? And what prompted you to come into the world of animal welfare? And the second tip that I would like to give is mix both closed-ended and open-ended questions in your interview. Now, the question is, what are open-ended questions and what are closed-ended questions? As the name itself suggests, closed-ended questions are those questions which give us the scope to answer in yes or no, or maybe in a word or two. Whereas open-ended questions are those which gives us the scope to speak aloud, to speak more about the topic asked. Like if I want to ask, are you an avid reader? The answer would be yes or no. That's a closed-ended question. But if the same question I ask in an open-ended manner, it would be, which is your favorite book and why is it your favorite book? Why you have launched into the world of books if he is a book writer. Here are a few examples of open-ended questions. Which place would you want to visit again and again? And why do you want to visit that place? What is your favorite book And what is the favorite character that you admire the most? Why have you become a regular traveler? So these questions give us a chance to speak more than just one word or yes or no. Now we have few examples of closed-ended questions. Do you like traveling? Do you like reading books? Which is your favorite author? Now in these answers, you have no more scope than just one word or yes or no. In such questions, we must provide prompts which help the author speak more about his experiences. And we must conclude the interview with the reflections of the guest. We must ask the guest to conclude the talk or the discussion with his own views and then conclude the interview. The next stage of the interview is while the interview. We have to follow certain steps while conducting the interview. The first and foremost is introduce yourself and also explain why you are conducting this interview. That is, the objective should be clear to your guest. Then you must jot down whatever your guest is telling you. It's not good to ask the same question again. Then the third thing is, if you want any clarification, you can further ask your guests. There is no harm in asking for clarification. And the fourth is, you can always add on further questions for more depth and detail. Like your main question is, what are the rituals followed in that particular place? Then the follow-up question could be, what are your opinion and thoughts about those rituals? The third stage of an interview is after the interview. First of all, thank your guest for sparing time for your interview. And you must ask the contact number and details of your guest so that if you need any further information, you may reach out to the person. Now that you have understood the various stages of an interview, now I am going to show you a short format of how to draft an interview. At first, add a short introduction. Who is it about and what is the topic of your interview? Then you have to assemble your questions. Place the questions and answers in a logical flow. Number each question. And then you have to conclude by signing off the interview with your name and one or two sentences about yourself. I hope all the stages of an interview are clear to you. And you must have understood the significance of an interview in making a travelogue compelling and interesting. And now it is the task time. You have to prepare an interview with at least 8 questions on the topic, my life-changing trip. Your questions must include the introduction of the guest, then what made that trip life-changing, and what were the wonderful things that happened in that trip. I hope you have enjoyed the video and now see you in the next video. Till then, happy learning.